What's up guys, Mike D here. In this video, I'm gonna be going over my 14-week face transformation. As you can see on the left side, I just have this terrible looking moon face. My skin looks unhealthy. My cheeks are fat. I have so much fat and just puffiness around my jaw and my cheekbones. And in the after picture, you can see my face looks a lot more angular. My jawline's starting to come out. My cheekbones are very prominent. Maybe not very prominent, but they're a lot more prominent than they were. I look like a completely different person. And all that I did in order to do this was eat less calories than I burned for 14 weeks. I've been on a cutting diet. I lost about 22 pounds. And the way to do that is not rocket science. You eat less calories than you burn every day. You lose weight. And ultimately, losing weight is one of the best things that you can do to improve your facial appearance. I'm sure some of you guys watching already know exactly how to do that, so you don't really need my advice. But I'll talk a little bit about how to lose weight for people who don't know in a second. But essentially, I see a lot of guys and a lot of women talking about how their face being fat is due to their genetic profile. You know, I have terrible genetics and my face is just always really fat. No matter how lean I get, my face is still fat. And I think a lot of people who say stuff like that have never really been that low of body fat in order to know this. I mean, obviously I can't speak for everybody on the planet, but if you look at my pictures, it's quite obvious. Losing body fat made my face a lot leaner. And that's gonna apply to the vast majority of people out there. If you've never been like 10% body fat as a man, or maybe 15 or 20% as a woman, and you're talking about how your genetics make your face look fat, I think you're not really doing yourself any favors. And there's no way for you to really know if you've never been that lean before. So highly recommend, if you want to improve your facial appearance, lose some weight and get lean and see what you look like. Now, if you don't know where to start as far as how you lose weight, I would recommend going on Google and type in Harris-Benedict equation. This is going to be a formula that's going to tell you, based on your age, your gender, your height, your weight, and your activity level, roughly, it's just an estimate, but roughly how many calories a day you're going to burn in order to just stay the same weight. So let's say me, for example, I type in my parameters into this equation and it outputs 2,800 calories per day in order to stay the same weight. Well, assuming that's accurate, and that is the case, 2,800 calories, let's say I eat 2,300 a day instead of 2,800. Well, that's 500 calories a day less that I'm eating than my body is actually burning. And in order for my body to burn those 2,800 calories, since it's only getting 2,300 from food, it has to get the 500 from somewhere else, the extra 500. So what it's going to do is take that 500 calories from reserved energy in my body. This could be glycogen, this could be muscle, this could be fat stores. But if you're doing strength training, if you're eating decent food, it's most likely going to be coming from fat stores most of the time. So like I said, the Harris-Benedict equation, it's going to give you an estimate. It's just going to be a starting point for you. So you do that for maybe 2 weeks, see what happens on the scale. If you don't lose any weight, you're likely still eating at maintenance and it was off a little bit. So you remove a little bit more calories from the equation, wait another week or two and see if the scale moves. And vice versa, if you eat at what it says is a 500 calorie deficit for a week, or let's say 2 or 3 weeks, and you lose like more weight than you were expecting, you should probably increase your calories a little bit because you don't want to be eating at too low of a caloric deficit. If you don't eat enough food, what's going to happen is your body's metabolism is going to down-regulate a bit, and you're going to start moving around less. There are some misconceptions about what metabolic adaptation is. Some people think that when you eat less calories, if you eat too little, your body just like stops having the same metabolism that it used to have. It's going to spend less energy pumping blood through your arteries and things like that. That's not necessarily the case. What it is the total amount of calories that you burn every day is made up of a few different things. You have your basal metabolic rate, which is how much your body burns just through breathing, pumping blood and stuff like that. Then you have the thermic effect of food. So protein, carbohydrates, fats, these all have different profiles in terms of how much energy it takes to digest them. Your body actually burns some calories just from digesting your food. So that factors into the equation. You have exercise, which is obviously exercise, things like cardio, going to the gym and weight training, stuff like that. And then you have NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is things like me moving my hand around right now or walking to the door to open it. And believe it or not, that makes up a pretty significant portion of your total daily energy expenditure, or the total amount of calories that you burn every day. So a great way to burn more calories is just to simply move around more in general. Basic things like walking further from a parking spot when you go to the store instead of parking right in front. Now, when I talk about metabolic adaptation, eating too little calories and then your body starts to burn less, it's not so much from the basal metabolic rate thing that I talked about. The effect is more reflected in the NEAT, the non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So right now, as I'm making this video, moving my hands around, and I'm a little bit animated. I seem to have some energy. Now, if I eat too little calories, that's gonna go away. My voice is gonna go down. I'm gonna start talking lower. I'm gonna have less energy. I'm not gonna move my hands around so much when I speak. And all these things over the course of a 5-minute video aren't gonna make a huge difference. But if you take that 5-minute block and you think about how many of those 5-minute blocks there are in an hour, which is 12, and then say you're up for 16 hours a day, that's what, 192 5-minute blocks? Well, the little bit of energy that you're not burning because you're less animated and less energetic, compounded or multiplied by 192 or whatever I said, that adds up significantly over the course of a day. And that's where eating too little calories is gonna hurt you. So you get to a level where you cut some calories out, but instead of removing more calories from the equation, if you want to keep losing more weight, sometimes it's better to add in more activity, like doing more cardio every day, doing more basic walking around and things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of how to lose fat. It's not rocket science. You have to eat less than you burn. Everybody knows this. Some people don't want to accept it, but it's the way it is. If you have any questions about fat loss that I didn't answer in this video, feel free to drop a comment below and I'll be sure to answer you and help you out. As far as today and my road to 194 pounds, today's arm day. It's gonna be a medium carb day. So I'm not gonna do the full day of eating thing again because there's no point. It's the same as yesterday, basically. I'm gonna do arms and calves at the gym, and I'm gonna do 20 minutes of HIIT cardio. And then tomorrow is my day off, so it's gonna be a low carb day. And Monday is my high day. Monday I train legs. I get to eat over 4,000 calories, which is super exciting for me. And the diet on Monday is actually gonna look different than the diet looks the rest of the week, not only in terms of caloric intake, but in terms of what foods that I'm allowed to have in my diet. Up to 50% of all my meals on the high carb day are allowed to come from sugary sources, which would be fruits, fruit juices, bagels, even Twizzlers if I want, whatever it is. So you guys will see that on Monday. I'll do the full day of eating. It's also gonna have a cheat meal at the end of that day. So I'm excited to show you guys what that's gonna be. And that's gonna be it for this video. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment below, help the algorithm push this content out to more people. It's a brand new channel and I'm trying to grow it, so I need you guys' help in order to do that. You can find me on Instagram at Mike DeFranco Fitness. There's a link in the description below. I just made that Instagram yesterday, so hopefully you guys can help me build that up, and eventually maybe I'll be able to do this full time for you guys and just put out lots of quality content and document my journey. That's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.